On Christmas Eve 1971, 17-year-old Julianne Kupke boarded the plane with her mother in Lima, Peru. She had just finished school the day before. They were flying home to the Amazon rainforest, where her parents, both zoologists, had built a research station called Penguana. Julianne had grown up between two worlds, the city of Lima and the deep jungle. Her father had taught her something most children never learn. If you are ever lost in the rainforest, follow water. A small stream leads to a creek leads to a river, and people live near rivers. But that lesson was about to become the reason she survived. During the flight, the plane entered a violent thunderstorm. Passengers screamed. Lightning flashed outside the windows. Then suddenly, lightning struck the aircraft. The plane began to break apart in the sky. Julianne was still strapped into her seat when she was torn away from the aircraft. She fell almost 3,000 meters, alone, through clouds, rain, and jungle. When she opened her eyes, she was on the forest floor. The plane was gone, her mother was gone, and all around her was nothing but the Amazon. She had a broken collarbone, a deep wound in her arm, an injured knee, and one eye swollen shut. She was alive. For 11 days, Julianne walked through the rainforest. She had no map, no shoes, almost no food. Insects covered her skin. Larvae infected the wound in her arm. At night, the jungle became louder, darker, and more alive. But she remembered her father's lesson. Follow the water. So she found the stream and followed it. Every step hurt. Every day made her weaker, but the water kept moving, and so did she. On the 9th day, she found a small shelter used by lumberjacks. She waited there, barely able to stand. When the men returned, they could hardly believe what they were seeing. A teenage girl had fallen from the sky and walked out of the rainforest alive. Julianne was rescued. Later, she learned that she was the only survivor of the crash. Her mother had not survived. For years, the question haunted her. Why was I the one who lived? But Julianne did not run from the jungle. She returned to it. She became a scientist like her parents and spent her life studying the rainforest that had both taken everything from her and somehow given her life back. And maybe that's why her story still feels impossible, because Julianne Kupke did not defeat the jungle. She listened to it and it led her home. He entered the marathon in the Sahara. Then the desert erased him. It was April 1994 when Mauro Prosperi, an Italian pentathlete, was running the Marathon des Sables, 6 days across Moroccan sand, carrying his own supplies. Not long after the start, a storm came. Sand filled the sky. The trail markers disappeared. Still, he kept moving, certain he was still on course. But he wasn't. Then the storm cleared, but there was nothing. No markers, no footprints, no other runners, just sand in every direction. That's when it hit him. He was lost, truly lost. Panic rose fast. He forced it down, tried to think, tried to stay calm, but calm does not come easily when the desert has swallowed every direction you know. He pushed on anyway, for nearly 36 hours until his food and water were gone. Then he found an old abandoned shrine and stepped inside. Alone, with nothing left to eat or drink, he had to decide what he was willing to do to stay alive. So he drank his own urine. He ate beetles, lizards, snakes, whatever the desert allowed him to take. He killed bats hanging from the low ceiling above him and drank their blood. Meanwhile, far from that shrine, search teams were combing the wrong stretch of desert. Days passed with no sign of him. Back home, people began to fear the worst, that he was already dead. But Mauro was still alive and slowly running out of ways to stay that way. His strength was failing, his body was shutting down, and he could feel it. Death by starvation felt certain now, just slower than he could bear. So he took out a small knife and tried to end it himself. But dehydration had thickened his blood. It would not flow. The wound would not kill him. He survived the one moment he tried not to, and something in him changed. With the last strength he had, he set his compass through the morning clouds and started walking again, in the cooler hours, toward whatever was still out there. After another day or two, nearly 10 days after the storm first took him, he found a footprint near water. then goats, then a young girl. When she saw him, she ran, but not away. She ran to her family for help. They took him in. Mauro was rescued more than 180 miles off course, in Algeria, not Morocco. He had lost 18 kilograms, his liver was badly damaged, recovery took nearly 2 years, but he survived. And in 2012 he returned to that race. This time he finished it. The desert took almost everything from him, but he refused to give up. 2 ships sailed into the Arctic in 1845. Not one man came home. For years, no one knew why. Sir John Franklin commanded HMS Erebus and HMS Terror, 2 of the finest ships the Royal Navy had. His mission, find the Northwest Passage, a sea route through the ice, one that could change trade and history forever. The Navy believed in this expedition. So did Franklin. The Arctic Sea did not care. Near Beechy Island, the ice closed in. The ships stopped moving. Winter came and stayed. Weeks became months. Months became more than a year. In June 1847, Franklin died. We don't know his last words. We don't know how he faced it. What we know is this: the ships remained trapped. The men remained inside them, waiting. Then, in April 1848, someone wrote a note. It was short, almost bare. The ship had been abandoned. The remaining crew planned to march overland, on foot, across the ice, searching for rescue, or rivers, or anything that looked like a way out. That note is the last confirmed word from the expedition. After that, silence. No ship's log, no final testimony, just the frozen land and whatever happened next. Search parties came later, years later. They found graves on Beechy Island, men who had died even before the worst began. They found only scattered relics. But eventually, more than 150 years later, the wrecks themselves were found, resting on the seafloor, exactly where the ice had left them. But the men were never fully accounted for. What killed them in the end is still debated. Cold, hunger, illness, perhaps all of it working together, closing in slowly. 129 men set out with confidence, discipline, and the full weight of an empire behind them. None of them mattered to the ice. The Franklin expedition did not simply vanish. It became a warning, proof that ambition, no matter how well equipped, can be undone with something larger than itself. 2 ships went in, searching for a passage through the world. Instead, they found its limits.